Do we not get it? I'm Lex.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Darren. The audience can't hear you, Lindsay.
Oh my god, okay, I'm good. I'm good to go. Go.
So where did I start?
You stop playing the dog now for Linux.
Come your dog. I started studying music. I was pretty young. I was taking piano lessons by the time I was 4 or 5, and then straight through till I was about 16. And I was in the jazz band. I played trumpet in school, high school. No, I was really good. Yeah.
I believe him. I think he was fabulous.
But it was frustrating because I was never ever practiced, and I'd show up to the jazz band, I just wouldn't be prepared. Okay, so then after that, by the time I was about 15, I started playing guitar because I was done with piano. I refused to play anymore, and played that till I was about 18. Not really that long, and then I gave it up, and I just got back to it last year actually.
I have been doing music probably the longest. I started when I was a kid as well. I've been performing for a really long time, since I guess the late 90s, early millennium. I started with piano 15, 16 years ago. I branched out to guitar about 10 or 11 years ago. Took a bass. I wouldn't ever call myself a drummer, although I've handled a drum kit a few times. And I started singing about 5 or 6 years ago, which is really what took me off musically.
So I started really young. I started singing when I was still like a toddler, and then I got into singing lessons, went into like musical theater, sort of classical, and then sort of deviated away from that, started doing like soul, blues, that type of stuff. And then met Darren, unfortunately, on the internet, and it's been a downward spiral ever since then.
It's been horrible.
Too many times now I stood by your side, while you just broke me down, so by my pride.
I posted an ad on Craigslist 3 or 4 years ago. I found Lindsay, and it turns out that we actually took a guitar class together in university. And so we're like, okay, I sort of know you, you sort of know me, let's go. And initially, believe it or not, at first we didn't think it was going to work. Like, we were like, ugh.
So different stylistically.
It was
like
weird.
All rock, and I was like, let's listen to some Erykah Badu. And Darren was like, who the fuck is that?
I don't know who that is. We had one common artist we had, which was hilarious. One common artist we had was Vibes Cartel, of all people. And I'm like, well, all right, that's the thing.
The only person.
So that's kind of how we started.
So the way that we came by the name of Heaven's Muse, I think, had a lot to do with me. At the time, I was very into spirituality, the idea that we all is one, we are all part of the universe, the idea that heaven is within all of us, and that having created us, sort of like God created us to sort of project onto itself, be able to see itself through a different light, and so it sort of became the idea that like we are like all of us. All of humanity, all of nature, everything is sort of Heaven's Muse. It also had a lot to do with Darren's arrogance. That's why he went with it, because he was like, yeah, I am heaven.
I joined after they had the name.
The inspiration behind our sound probably is best to start most recently and work backwards. So most recently we've released The Fire in Eden, which is our second full-length EP. And the inspiration behind that started about last year and a half ago. I was actually in a relationship, admittedly, and it really didn't go so well at the end. I didn't know how else to channel everything that I was feeling, negatively, positively, whatever. And so I just started to sit down and just write. And ideas just poured out of me, on the piano, on the guitar, on whatever. I just had such a vision. And it really sparked, at least on my end, it really sparked the creative juices.
I think personally my inspiration stems from a bunch of different things. I tend to connect a lot with, like, because I'm a little bit hippie, world issues, anything like that. So a lot of the songs that I'd like to write would go in that direction.
Yeah, they covered it pretty well. Basically just, sing about something that resonates with people. can be whatever. When you're walking down the street, see something, usually pretty innocuous, and just find something that people can relate to.
I want Heaven's Muse to be synonymous with something that's good quality. I want when we touch something musically, vocally, lyrically, whatever, that it is just golden.
I think my goal, like what I'm looking to achieve, is to spread a message. I think that music is a great way to do that. It's the one thing that everybody, it's a language everybody speaks. People listen, and if it appeals to their ear, they're going to continue to listen and they're going to continue to come back. I also find that today's music is so generic and so almost it's garbage.
Preach it, sister.
At the end of the day, I find the stuff that people are singing about, it's just sad. And I would like to bring some soul back into music and sing about things that actually matter.
Okay, so for the video for Never Me, that was our first foray into creating a music video for ourselves, and it was definitely a learning experience. It came out good, but definitely something that we can work on. I know for us anyway.
Didn't mean to hurt you, baby. Try you in to let you down.
You know what? We had the idea of shooting a music video. We didn't know what song we were going to shoot it for.
No.
And then everybody seemed to have liked Never Me best off of the EP. So we said, okay, let's kind of run with this. And no, you're right. I don't think that when we were planning and prepping and writing and this, that, and getting the script ready, I don't think that we took into account how much.
No, because we just didn't know.
We didn't know. It was our very first music video experience. We had a lot of our friends helping us out, doing things just as a favor, doing things just, to help us out, Juliana, the actress who was in the video.
I want to thank her.
We absolutely want to thank her. We want to thank Brenton and his crew, because
I think also that goes to say anytime anything is your first experience, it's not going to be 100%, right? It's all a learning curve. So even with our first EP, we had those roadblocks, and going into the second EP, it was a similar process where suddenly we've gotten better, we've evolved as artists. We know going into the studio we need to do this to make this sound better. And in the same sense, I think the video, having watched it myself, is a similar situation.
Which is okay. Yeah, we've got plenty of room to grow.
And honestly, for the most part, even despite the fact that it is a learning experience, a lot of people seem to genuinely like it. So I mean, that's what's encouraging at the end of the day. Our main goal right now is to have spring and summer be touring, right?
Yeah.
Locally, maybe a little bit outside Toronto, but we need to be hitting, a few places a month minimum. We need to be handing out our business cards to people. We need to be promoting our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, or this or that, the next. Our main goal right now is not necessarily going to be in the studio, but it's going to be out there.
Yeah,
we've done the studio time. It's time to take it out there and let Toronto really hear us.
We really want to create a live presence in the city,
Yeah.
I think you two agree that we are better live than we are on album, which is great for us, but people don't know that yet.
I would just like to tell all our fans, and despite the sort of smallish following that we've got, there are people that legitimately have been listening to our music from day one, and there are people that are legitimately interested in our stuff. And to those people hopping on, whether it's the new EP or the old EP, we are going to be performing this spring, this summer. We are going to be, bringing our A game and giving it 110%. We are going to have a great sound live, and we genuinely hope all of you guys come out. Whether it's to one show, whether it's to all our shows, whether it's here in Toronto or in all sorts of venues that we may do elsewhere.
And also, we are very grateful for any following that, we did put a lot of effort into all of this. Money, obviously, but effort more so. I would say time is of the essence, and it did take a lot of time. So we do appreciate anybody who does follow us and does think of us and does listen to our stuff. So
listen to us on Spotify. Give us money. Buy us on iTunes. You don't even have to listen to the CD. Just buy it.
not what this guy said.